Hi there guys, today we're going to look at how to transfer a message from Playmaker to a script and vice versa, meaning from the script to Playmaker. I have been getting some personal messages on my own board and on Playmaker form. And so I thought I'd just show you in a video how to do it or how I actually do it. On the screen we have the game I'm currently working on is Push It 2, the sequel, and this is just sort of a test area or test level we have here. This is where I just test functionality. But right here in the middle we have the player, that's this ball. And if you pay attention over to the right, you can see we have a few different variables. And they are public variables declared in the player control script. So let's just open that up. You can see here I have a lot of things declared. But the things we're going to look at right now are these two. It's called jump power and acceleration. I also have one called mass somewhere and speed. You can see speed is right there. I have a small notice here, but that's just because I also store them as player prefs. Just ignore that for now. And we're going to close the script. So let's check out what we're going to do. I'm going to hit play so you can see the functionality first. Play. So here we go. Player moves around. Sorry about that. And I'm going to open the menu. And we have some options. You can see I still need some adjustment. That's because it's auto resizing. You can see it's a bit weird. One of the reasons why the game isn't out anyway. I click the shop. You can see I got some options. I can decrease or increase my mass, acceleration, or jump power using these. And when I hit confirm, right now it's going to cost me 350 of these cash. I have 0 off. When I hit confirm, they will update over in the player controls, but right now I can't afford it. It's not important either. I can also decrease them, but I can't go below 0. So there we go. Okay. And all my player controls are done in C#, while all the game controls are done in Playmaker, and that might be a bit difficult for some to handle doing both. But I like to use Playmaker where it's just fast and easy, whereas where I want more control, I tend to switch to C#, just a personal preference, because you can see I'm incorporating other modifications. You can see my joystick, that's the controller for the mobile device as well. Got some raycasting as well. That is why I use C#. And let's check out the hierarchy inspector down here. You can see I have the player ball selected, and there are no Playmaker icons on it. So there are no Playmaker scripts or FSMs attached to the player at all. And that's a nice thing to know, because when we want to send a message from the game to a script or vice versa, it's very important to know where the Playmaker scripts are attached and to which objects. But what I do have is something called controllers up here. I have various controllers, and these controls things like opening the menu, and well, we can check it out. You can see this is just the menu. When we hit either escape or the in-game menu button, that's the player-defined one, open the menu. Easy. Menu is run by NGUI, and that's just a personal preference again. But let's check it out. So we got it down here somewhere, right here. And let's check it. I think it's from this side. Let's enable the menu. There we go. And the tab shop. Let's see. So you can see I have these buttons, and they just increase and decrease a value I have in Playmaker's global values. That's important that I use global variables, so I keep control over things if you want. Why didn't it open? Editor windows, global variables. Is it open somewhere? No, no, no. Oh, there we go. Global. Let's just drag that down here for a moment. So, what's going on is when a player clicks this button, we run the script. There we go. Let's update. The increase, basically I have an asset enabling me to use NGUI components in the Playmaker. So whenever a player clicks, we do this. And basically it's just adding a value of 50 to a global value down here. You can see the global value is jump power. It's currently 0. And that's it. It plays a sound. It flips a boolean. That's just to update some text on the screen. But all that's going on is we're adding 50 points to jump value each time the player clicks. Of course, I also have a decrease button. That's a bit different because I have to check that it doesn't run below 0, but it's still the same. So, how do I send the message to the script that the player now wants to increase his mass of his balls? Oh, that sounded wrong. Anyway, when you hit confirm, it should send the message. So let's go to Playmaker. Come on. There we go. And here we go. This is the component that sends the message to my script. And my script is up here. It's the player ball 1 component, this one. So, player clicks, it goes down to price check. It basically just checks if the player can afford the upgrade. If he can't, it's just going to play a warning sound and go back to doing nothing. However, if he can afford it, then we're going to send the message. Well, let's go over these step by step. First of all, we're going to subtract his cash because we don't want all infinity money or something. So we're going to remove the price. But here we go. Find the closest with tag player. That's because I need this player ball 1. So of course that is tagged with player, as you can see right there. Let's go back. So I'm going to store that object in a variable I have, game object called player. Okay. And then I'm going to send 3 messages. And the action you really need for this is called send message. This is the one you need. So I just renamed them because I like to be able to see what I'm doing. So for example, this one is called update mass. Game object use owner, ignore this. Send message options don't require receiver. Not important in our case. But the method name. And oh yeah, we already found the bug. Can you see the bug? I'm going to count to 5 and let you identify the bug. I just saw it myself. Yeah, exactly. Use owner. That's wrong. The reason we found the player and stored the player object before was we are going to use that right here. So specify game object, switch to player. Voila. And we might want to apply because these are all prefabs in the game. So it's going to send the message to the game object called player. And it's going to use the method called adjust mass. It's going to send the parameter. You can select what type of variable you're going to use, a parameter. It's a float. And the float is my global mass. And sorry, before we talked about the jump power. So let's go down here. You can see specify game object, player again from up here, send the message, and the method is called adjust jump. These are important because they are connected. I'm going to open the script now. There we go. Let's try so we can have them next to each other. This is the player control script I have attached to the player itself. And I have this region here called adjust shop values. And you can see I have one called void adjust mass, void adjust acceleration in short, void adjust jump. And this is the name same as this, of course. And the float global jump power is the message it will receive. So here we're declaring float jump power. When this runs, this script attached to the player will go into void adjust jump and receive the float jump power from here. Then I'm going to assign jump power to the actual float called jump power. You can see this one right here, because this one is the one the game actually uses. Then, just as a precautionary, I'm going to update my global variable Playmaker variable. Where is it? It's down here. This one. So basically, what we have done now, we have sent the message to the script and updated the script. We're done. This buys. Okay. So this part is basically sending a message from a script back to Playmaker. So imagine me doing something in game that will cause the player to lose his jump power. Okay. Then I would, of course, write everything right here in C#. But I would also like to be able to control it from Playmaker. And the way I do it here is I'm going to use this component right here. It's called FSM variables dot global variables get FSM, and don't mind it's called get because we're actually setting it. The only thing that's really important is what side is it on, left or right side of the equal sign. And another thing, you want to add this dot value. The name is, of course, the one we have in Playmaker called jump power. And some people might write this out and just get an error. And that's because you need to remember to add this at the very top or outside any classes, really. You can see. There we go. Using HutonGames.playmaker. That means we're now going to interact with the components and actions Playmaker have in our C# script. That's all you got to do. This thing right here. And you can now adjust and work with the global variables from Playmaker. It's that simple. You could also maybe do this. I can quickly change things on the fly while the player is playing, and he wouldn't even notice. Imagine a penalty rolling through a slow zone or a speed up zone or something like that. That is why I have divided them into 3. So I have adjust my mass, my acceleration, and my jump power. I really hope it helped you guys to understand how you can connect your PlayMaker with a C# script and C# script with PlayMaker. It's not so hard, but it can be hard if you have never done it before. And you can do this with almost any plugin. You can see this is one of the end level scripts. And I'm of course still using PlayMaker because I'm going to tell PlayMaker when the game is over. And I'm using PlayMaker to count my score. You know, when a player completes the level, he needs some stars, and because it's a mobile game. So we're giving from 1 to 3 stars, even 0 if possible. And that score is something I keep using PlayMaker. So you can see right here, end score equals this. So whenever the game ends or level ends, I'm going to grab the score from my global values. And this is what you see right here. I'm just grabbing the score. I'm then going to use the score to calculate the stars and score for the end game. But that doesn't really matter. That's just the you can see other components or other assets from the asset store is also able to be used here. You can see I have MadLevelManager. That's just the asset I use for easy configuring all my levels and having a level selection menu. You can see down here. The same as with PlayMaker. When you have it enabled in the top or added using, you can access its components just like you would access an API for something. And we can just go in and adjust whatever we feel like. As you can see, next level, we're going to load the next level here. We're also going, but before that, we're going to adjust the star for the current level. We're going to mark the current level if it's complete or not. Save the player's stats in a file, so whenever he closes the computer, he can continue the next time. Thanks for watching, guys. Comment, rate, subscribe, and if you have any ideas or suggestions or something you would like me to, just go over. Let me know. I'll see you next time. Bye.